going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my UFC 102 review video. Wow. Great night of fights. We had some questions answered in several of these fights. And on top of that, good night of fights. For those of you that were involved with the UFC 102 prediction contest, that will be released, I think, here in the next couple days of who the winner is. Thanks again to Performance MMA for helping to sponsor that with the launch of MMA Talk TV. I'm going to work my way from the bottom of the main card to the top like I normally do, review the fights I did predictions on. First fight of the night, Brandon Vera taking on Krzysztof Szynski. Brandon Vera controlled this fight in all aspects, controlled the clinch, controlled the stand-up, used a couple good inside leg kicks and some body kicks. Didn't throw as many as he usually does. Szynski, had a couple good combinations, had one decent takedown, but Vera got back to his feet. Vera was able to get a takedown in this fight as well, and work some effective ground and pound from the top. Brandon Vera, like I said, wins this pretty convincingly. Controls the clinch, controls the stand-up, controls the wrestling aspect as well, and goes on to win a unanimous decision. Pretty clear cut. For Vera, I think the only thing in this fight was the fact that he continues to be a slow starter. He doesn't look as aggressive as he used to. And I think that may be something that he needs to work on. For Szynski, I think his boxing is still an area he needs to improve on. Some aspects of his wrestling, because he primarily likes to use the clinch for his wrestling. And when he gets up against a guy that's got a good Greco base, like Brandon, you're going to run into problems. So I think that's an area that needs to work on as well. But nonetheless, congratulations to Brandon Vera. He takes this fight via a unanimous decision. All right, next fight. Good Lord. Nate Marquardt taking on Demian Maia. Both these guys come out. Demian Maia throws an inside leg kick. Excuse me, it wasn't an inside leg kick. Throws a body kick, then throws a high kick. Marquardt bounces in and out of the pocket. Maia goes for another left high kick again. Marquardt counters with an overhand right. Drops him and finishes the fight at 21 seconds via knockout. Good Lord. Many people, question whether or not Demian Maia had issues with his striking. It's gotten better, but it still needs to improve. I mean, this was, a crucial mistake. When you see a guy go to fake the jab and then looks to counter right then when you go to throw, you don't throw a kick like that. And Demian Maia did, and he paid for it. The momentum of him throwing that high kick, spun him around pretty violently, landed him on his head, and if he wasn't already knocked out, that definitely knocked him out. So, good stoppage by the referee, and Nate Marquardt wins via first-round knockout. More than likely, he will be the next person to fight Anderson Silva. Since he fought him last, he's improved dramatically in all aspects of his game. It's possible that they could put together the Dan Henderson-Nate Marquardt fight, but more than likely it will be Nate Marquardt versus Anderson Silva for the title next. So congratulations to Nate Marquardt. For Demian Maia, he still needs to work on his striking. The wrestling and the jiu-jitsu, is on point. He's a world-class Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, so, that's not an area he needs to improve on, but definitely needs to improve on the striking. All right, next fight. Wow. What an improvement here. Chris Lieben taking on Jake Roseholt. Jake Roseholt was just on point in this fight. In the first round, had the better of the combinations, had some head movement, which we haven't seen in the past from him. It looks like he really took to heart some of his last fights and saw the mistakes that he made. Came in with head movement, came in with good counters, good inside leg kicks, the good jab, 1-2 jab combination that he was using. Wins the first round pretty convincingly, even though both guys, had takedowns. I think Roseholt had the better of the combination. Second round, Lieben scores a knockdown with a combination, gets inside of guard on Roseholt, works some effective ground and pound. Does enough in that round to win 10-9, but the third round, good Lord, Jake Roseholt shoots in, is in half guard, if I remember right, and Lieben tries to buck him, and at the moment that he tried to buck him, Roseholt was waiting on it. He sinks the arm in underneath, jumps to the side, textbook move, in jiu-jitsu to set up an arm triangle, and locks it in. Chris Lieben was trying to tap as he went out, and Jake Roseholt wins via a third-round submission via arm triangle. Congratulations to him. Looked very, very impressive in this fight. Looked a lot better since his last two fights, especially with the striking. If he continues to progress at this rate, he's definitely going to be a guy to look out for at 185. For Chris Lieben, he'll improve on his mistakes. He'll come back. and work on the things that he made mistakes on. Probably more so with some grappling techniques, because he's a decent grappler on the ground, and the fact that he made that mistake was a little mind-boggling. But nonetheless, hopefully he'll tighten that up and fix that. So, congratulations to Jake Roseholt, though. All right, next fight: Keith Jardine versus Thiago Silva. Keith Jardine and Thiago come out, both guys exchanging. Jardine throws a couple good combinations to make Thiago Silva back up, but Thiago Silva, continually throughout this, fight, push the pace, move forward. Jardine throws a leg kick, Silva catches it, gets inside a guard, works some effective ground and pound, they get back to their feet. Jardine, kind of backs up, Silva stalks him down, gets in an exchange, Jardine throws some shots, Silva counters with a left hook, drops Jardine, stands over top of him, pounds him out, and wins via first-round knockout. Many people question whether or not Thiago Silva was able to, rebound from, the fight with Machida. Is he a legitimate guy in that division? And I think he is. I think he's improved dramatically with his boxing. It showed in this fight. So congratulations to him. For Keith Jardine, his major problem has been guys that push the pace. And he seems to not have an answer for people that, when they move forward on him in the exchanges, guys catch him. So, hopefully he'll find a way to kind of tighten that up, maybe use some better footwork, because that's his Achilles heel right now that he's running into. So, nonetheless, I think Keith Jardine will be back. He'll work on those mistakes. For Thiago Silva, congratulations to him. He looked very impressive in this fight. All right, on to the main event, and probably it will be considered as a Fight of the Year candidate. Randy Couture versus Antonio Rodrigo, Minotauro Nogueira, Big Nog. First round, both guys having good combinations. Nogueira almost had a Darce choke. Was very, very tight, but, Randy was able to kind of jump out of that. Both guys slugging it out. At one point, they were in the clinch, kind of looking like Takayama and Don Fry. Nogueira, I think, does enough in the first round with the combinations and the submission attempt to win the first round. The second round, Nog gets a knockdown, gets the better of the combinations. Couture gets a takedown, is working inside a guard. Nog, reverses him into mount, starts throwing some shots, goes for an arm triangle. Good Lord. Nog was just all over him in this round, pounding him, landing the good shots, landing the good combinations. Randy had a couple good combinations, but Nogueira takes the second round as well. Third round, Nog comes back out again, has some very good combinations, gets another knockdown, gets over on top of Randy, trying to, advance to side control, gets it, starts throwing some shots, gets Randy's back, looking for some submission attempts, trying to pound, him from the back, as far as, landing some shots from, back mount. Randy gets back on top of him, the round ends, and it goes to the judges' scorecards, and Nogueira wins 30-27 twice and 29-28, and wins a unanimous decision. Congratulations to Nogueira, looked very, very impressive in this fight. The weigh-ins, he came in at 231, if I remember right. That's the lowest he's been since the GP back in Pride, and if he continues to stay down at that weight and looks like this, he's going to be a guy to look out for sure. For Randy, I think there's some areas that, not only with, I think, age is starting to catch up a little bit, but I just think some technical mistakes that he needs to work on. If Crow Cop happens to lose to Dos Santos, they will make the Mirko Crow Cop-Randy Couture fight. That will be the next fight that Randy gets if that goes down that way. If not, I really don't know who they're going to give Randy next. For Nogueira, it's possible that he will get, the winner of Dos Santos Crow Cop to challenge for the #1 spot against Brock after the Carwin fight, Carwin and Lesnar. But we'll see how that plays out. But nonetheless, a great night of fights, a possible Fight of the Year candidate. Questions were answered in the middleweight division by Marquardt's knockout, and just a great night of fights overall. So. Make sure you leave some comments, constructive, negative, positive as always. I'll be back next week to do my MMA Corner and MMA Poll videos. Make sure to check out my sponsors on the description side. And on that note, you guys, have a great day.